Hey students, my name is Lila and I'm so excited to show you and tell you about the Tennessee Theater, which is the official state theater of Tennessee. So let's go on inside and take a look at this beautiful theater. All right, so here we are inside the lobby. So we just walked in the front doors, and as soon as you come in, this is what you see. So welcome inside. Here's a fun little fact about the Tennessee Theater. So how many of you guys have gone to see a movie in a theater? Raise your hand. Well, this Tennessee Theater opened as a movie palace 92 years ago. So it opened on October 1st, 1928, and this is where people came to see movies. So it was a very different experience going to the movies back then. So it's called a movie palace for that very reason, because it was built to look like a palace, so that when people went to the movies, they felt like kings and queens. So if you think just a minute, there's probably some movies that you've seen that maybe make you think about the Tennessee Theater and how beautiful it is. But this theater is what we call Spanish Moorish in design. So what that means is that the architects and the designers who built the theater used influences from Spain, which is where Spanish comes from, and from Egypt, which is where Moorish comes from. So as we look around the lobby, you can see a lot of different influences, because even though it's Spanish Moorish, the idea in building these movie palaces is they really wanted to show everybody the rest of the world, because back then we didn't have internet, we didn't have television, and the only way that people really got to see the rest of the world is through photographs. But when the Tennessee Theater was built, people here in Knoxville actually got to taste the world just by coming in this building. So we talked about Spanish Moorish being the design, but here are a few of the other influences that are in the theater. So these beautiful chandeliers are French provincial chandeliers. So they were inspired by the country of France. So one super cool fact about these chandeliers that you see is they each have names. So we have Angie, Susie, Molly, Wendy, and Gretchen. So they have names, and each one of these chandeliers is worth $250,000. So we have over $1 million worth of chandeliers hanging in our lobby. And this is one of the things that people love to look at when they come into the theater. And then also from around the world in terms of influence, the floor that's in the lobby here that I'm standing on is an Italian terrazzo floor. So this was inspired by the country of Italy, which is not too far from France. And then if you look at the draperies in the building, and we'll see some of those as we move through, but the draperies are any of the cloth decorative elements that you see, but draperies are mostly Asian influences. So those are coming from different countries within the continent of Asia. So remember I said that the Tennessee Theater is 92 years old. So when the Tennessee Theater opened, it was the first building in downtown Knoxville that was planned with air conditioning. So imagine in 1928, most buildings did not have air conditioning, but the Tennessee Theater was the first one, and it was very, very exciting.